The Vikings are often remembered for their fearsome raids and formidable prowess as warriors and traders. Yet beneath the surface of these well-trodden narratives lies a lesser-known aspect of Viking society: their remarkable achievements as explorers. Far from being mere marauders, the Vikings ventured beyond their native Scandinavian lands, leaving an indelible mark on a wide range of cultures across Europe and even the New World. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new stories. And also, write a comment what story you would like to hear next. The Viking Age, traditionally dated from the late 8th century to the early 11th century, marks a period of significant transformation in Northern Europe. This era was characterized by the expansion of the Norse people, known as Vikings, who originated from what is now Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. The term Viking itself comes from the Old Norse word vikingur, meaning pirate or raider, but this term only captures a fraction of who the Vikings were and what they accomplished during this period. The Vikings lived in a society that was largely agrarian, with a social structure that included a wide range of classes from slaves, thralls, to powerful chieftains and kings. Farming was the primary means of sustenance, but the harsh northern climate made agriculture difficult and unreliable. This, combined with a growing population, likely drove the Vikings to look beyond their borders for land, wealth, and resources. Political factors also played a significant role in Viking expansion. The period was marked by a lack of centralized authority in Scandinavia, leading to frequent conflicts and power struggles among local chieftains. These internal disputes encouraged groups to venture out in search of new territories where they could establish their own control, free from rivals. A key factor that enabled Viking exploration was their advanced seafaring technology. The Vikings built highly versatile ships such as the longship, which was both fast and capable of navigating not only the open sea but also shallow rivers. This made it an excellent vessel for both raiding and exploring. The longship's design, with a shallow draft and symmetrical bow and stern, allowed it to land on and launch from virtually any shoreline, giving the Vikings unprecedented mobility. The Vikings also possessed sophisticated navigation skills, utilizing the sun, stars, the color of the ocean, and the flight patterns of birds to find their way across vast expanses of open water. While there is debate among historians about the extent to which they used navigational instruments such as the sunstone, there is no doubt that their achievements in navigation were remarkable for the time. Cultural and religious factors also contributed to the Viking spirit of exploration. The Vikings believed in a pantheon of gods who valued heroism, honor, and prowess in battle. The promise of glory in this life and the next was a powerful motivator for undertaking risky voyages to unknown lands. Additionally, the sagas and oral traditions of the Norse people, filled with tales of gods, heroes, and adventurers, served to inspire and legitimize the pursuit of exploration and conquest. The historical context of the Viking Age is complex, shaped by a combination of economic necessity, technological innovation, political ambition, and cultural and religious motivations. Together, these factors propelled the Vikings onto the world stage, where they left an indelible mark on the history of Europe and beyond. Their explorations and settlements not only expanded the geographical horizons of the medieval world, but also facilitated significant cultural exchanges that would shape the course of history for centuries to come. The Viking explorations, remarkable for their breadth and impact, spanned from the frigid shores of North America to the rich cultures of the Mediterranean and the vast steppes of Russia. These voyages were driven by a combination of adventure, wealth-seeking, and the necessity of finding new lands for settlement. One of the most significant achievements of the Vikings was their exploration of the North Atlantic. The settlement of Iceland, beginning around AD 870, is a testament to their seafaring prowess. Iceland served as a base for further exploration, notably by Eric the Red, who, after being exiled from Iceland, sailed west and founded the first Norse settlements in Greenland around 982. These settlements survived for several centuries, serving as a hub for hunting, trading, and exploration in the North Atlantic. The Viking expeditions had a profound impact on the course of European history. Their raids and subsequent settlements in the British Isles, for instance, played a crucial role in the political unification of England. In France, the granting of Normandy to the Viking leader Rollo in 911 led to the emergence of the Normans, who would later play a significant role in European history, notably with the Norman conquest of England in 1066. The most astonishing of the Viking voyages was led by Leif Erikson, Eric the Red's son, around the year 1000. He reached the shores of North America, landing in a place he called Vinland, due to the wild grapes he found there. This site is believed to be modern-day Newfoundland, specifically the Lonceau Meadows archaeological site, which provides concrete evidence of Norse presence in North America centuries before Columbus's voyages. To the east, the Vikings, known as Varangians in the Byzantine Empire and Rus by the Slavic peoples, ventured into modern-day Russia, Ukraine, and even as far as the Byzantine Empire. They navigated the complex river systems of Eastern Europe, establishing trade routes that linked the Norse world with the rich cultures of the Byzantine Empire and the Islamic caliphates. The city of Kiev was founded by these Norse adventurers, becoming a crucial center of the Kievan Rus state, which is considered a precursor to modern Russia and Ukraine. The Varangian Guard, an elite unit of Viking mercenaries, served the Byzantine emperors and played a significant role in the politics and wars of the Byzantine Empire. This illustrates the far-reaching influence of the Vikings, not just as raiders but as key players in medieval geopolitics. The Mediterranean expeditions of the Vikings were motivated by plunder and trade. They raided parts of the Iberian Peninsula, the coasts of France and Italy, and even attacked the city of Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire, on several occasions. These raids into the Mediterranean showcased the Vikings' adaptability to different forms of warfare and their ability to navigate diverse political landscapes. The key Viking explorations were not mere episodes of plunder and conquest. They were complex journeys that involved settlement, trade, and cultural exchange. The Viking expeditions and settlements left a linguistic imprint on many parts of Europe. In the British Isles, Old Norse, the language of the Vikings, merged with Old English, contributing to the development of Middle English and introducing a significant number of Norse words into the English language. In Russia and Ukraine, the presence of the Norse traders, known as the Rus, influenced the development of the Russian and Ukrainian languages. Art and culture flourished through the interactions between the Vikings and the peoples they encountered. The Vikings adopted Christian symbols and motifs into their art, blending them with their traditional animalistic and intricate designs, known as the Viking art styles, e.g., borre gelling, mamen, ringerike, and earnest styles. This fusion of artistic influences is evident in metalwork, jewelry, and sculptura from the period. The spread of Christianity among the Vikings, partly through their contacts with Christian Europe, also led to significant cultural transformations within Norse society. The Viking Age contributed to the development of legal and political systems in Europe. The establishment of Viking settlements and the integration of Viking leaders into the local aristocracy in places like Normandy, England, and parts of Italy and Ireland influenced the governance structures of these regions. The Norse legal tradition, with its assemblies known as things, where free men could participate in decision-making, also had a lasting impact on the legal traditions of the regions they settled. The cultural exchanges and impacts of the Viking Age, leaving a lasting legacy on the modern world. Through trade, exploration, and settlement, the Vikings facilitated the spread of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices across Europe and beyond. Viking mythology and history have inspired countless works of literature, ranging from epic poems and sagas written during or shortly after the Viking Age, to modern novels and historical fiction. The 19th century Romantic movement sparked a renewed interest in Norse mythology, with poets and writers drawing upon the epic tales of gods, heroes, and monsters. In contemporary times, authors like Neil Gaiman, with his book Norse Mythology, retell these ancient stories for modern audiences, while historical fiction series such as Bernard Cornwell's The Saxon Stories vividly reimagine the Viking invasions of England. The Vikings have been a popular subject in film and television, portrayed as fearsome warriors and intrepid explorers. The History Channel's Vikings series, for example, has played a significant role in popularizing Viking history and culture. despite taking creative liberties with historical facts. Other notable films and shows, such as The Last Kingdom and the movie The 13th Warrior, draw heavily on Viking themes, characters, and historical events, blending historical fiction with action and drama. Video games offer an interactive medium through which players can explore Viking mythology and history. Titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla allow players to experience the Viking raids and settlements in England, incorporating historical events and figures with mythological elements. Other games, such as God of War, though not strictly historical, draw heavily on Norse mythology, introducing players to its gods, monsters, and legends in vivid, immersive worlds. Viking symbols and themes have found their way into various forms of art and music, particularly within the genres of metal and folk music. Bands like Amon Amarth and Wardruna draw heavily on Viking history and mythology, using it to inspire their lyrics, aesthetics, and stage performances. This fascination extends to visual arts as well, with contemporary artists and graphic designers drawing upon Viking symbols and motifs for inspiration. Viking culture is celebrated in numerous festivals and reenactments held around the world, particularly in countries with historical Viking connections. These events often feature mock battles, traditional crafts, Viking-style feasts, and living history displays, offering participants and spectators alike a glimpse into the Viking way of life. Such gatherings not only serve as entertainment, but also as educational experiences, highlighting the skills, traditions, and social aspects of Viking society. In Scandinavian countries and regions with Viking heritage, such as the British Isles and Normandy, the legacy of the Vikings is a source of cultural pride and identity. Museums, monuments, and archaeological sites related to the Vikings attract visitors interested in exploring their history and contributions to European culture. This connection to the past is celebrated as part of national heritage, with the Vikings playing a key role in the historical narrative of these regions. The Vikings, long viewed through a lens of barbarity and raiding, emerge upon closer examination as complex figures who were not only fierce warriors, but also skilled navigators, traders, and explorers. Their voyages across the Atlantic, into the heart of Russia, and through the Mediterranean represent a remarkable chapter in human history, highlighting the interconnectedness of cultures, even in an era often perceived as dark and divided. Thank you for watching the video. If you have questions, write them in the comments. And also check out our channel, we have some more interesting videos.